You went from owning a Hyundai, then BMW, now owning a Ferrari California. I think it was gray in color. You have wrapped in red. Just correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. That's right. If nobody is talking about you, that means you have failed to build your personal brand. If nobody is noticing you, that means you failed to build your personal brand. So you have to be an extreme. I come from a very humble background. My dad was a truck driver, and I was born and brought up in slums. I grew up in slums. And at that time, only goal was, man, get a job and make some money. Yes, get a lot of haters, man, get a lot of haters, because there's a dialogue in movie, right, Guru Bhai. It says,
Yeah.
अगर लोग आपके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो समझ लो तरक्की कर रहे हो. Time said, man, I want to help those people. I want to wake them up and tell them, look, you have a huge potential, you can make a lot of difference, you can build your potential, you can go to the next level. And that's how my journey started. I said, man, I'm going to at least transform 1 million lives. I'm going to motivate, I'm going to inspire them to change their life and eventually help them to become passionpreneur. So that is how my journey started, from 9 to 5 job, from not knowing what to do to just self discovery journey, and then helping others to also self discover themselves. Give the ray of hope to people, and I will buy a Ferrari on cash in multi crores. I'm going to buy it. And that's what I did in 2021. And I bought the Ferrari within just 3 years of starting my journey as an entrepreneur.
Why many people cannot achieve success? What is the one thing that stops them? And I know you are the right person to guide me in this part. What advice do you want to give in terms of building my personal brand in 2022? Hello everyone, welcome to the Get Rich show. So today we have a very special guest that do not need any introduction. So he is known as India's first passionpreneur mentor, author of multiple hot-selling books. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the person with the goal to transform 1 billion lives, Mr. Dev Gadvi. Thank you, Dev sir, to joining our show, the Get Rich show. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure, Sammy, and I'm very excited here. And I see that youngsters like you making an impact. I'm so happy to looking forward to sharing my knowledge with you guys and all your audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making the time. So, we all maximum of the viewers already know what you have achieved and your goals that you're planning to go for. But I was reading your book and I came across that there's a very interesting story, a very humble background of your past. And I think a lot of my audience can relate to that. Will you take a few seconds to just hover around few of those, your past experiences, how you came to this from that?
Yeah. Now, very happy to share this. So a lot of people look at me and then they build a lot of perception about me that I was probably born in rich family. I was, no, the answer is I come from a very humble background. My dad was a truck driver, and I was born and brought up in slums. I grew up in slums. And at that time, only goal was, man, get a job and make some money. That was the only goal. So these are the beginnings that I've had. And I share this with my viewers as well, that our house was surrounded by people who will drink, fight, gamble, and abuse. And we do not even have toilets in our home. And we used to go to public toilet, which were doors were half broken, smelling, stinking, pigs roaming around. This was the neighborhood. I not only was born there, but I was actually finished my graduation there. So born and brought up there in that neighborhood in Adipur, Kutch, Gujarat. So these are the early memories of my childhood.
Okay. Well, that was actually good for the listener because they will relate to it a lot. And we are seeing your ad a lot about your past, your village, and that inspires a lot for us as well. So you talk a lot about the 9 to 5 job that you were in. And from that, obviously it was a tough challenge for you to move from a level of comfort to going and becoming a passionpreneur. So what was that one shift that occurred in your mind? Because I guess it was very challenging and tough.
Yeah, I think the biggest shift that I had, Sammy, is when I was in a job, there was something missing. Like, I was making 3 lakh a month. I had a family. I was living comfortably. I had a car. I was driving old Hyundai Verna car. and everything was fine, but there was something missing. That wo jo hota hai na, for whole life we've been told that get a degree, get a job, work hard, make money, and that's what I did. But then the question was like, man, is that it? Is this the life that I want to live? Is this how I'm going to live and die forever? No, answer was no. So what is that missing element? Why was I not happy? Why was I not fulfilled? So I started doing some research, and I found some of the coaches and mentors, like my first mentor, Grant Cardone. I started reading his books. Then the second mentor, Dan Law, and they just changed my perspective. They changed my thought process about life, and I started taking action, and I put myself full into self-development journey, and I realized that I was living a mediocre life. Everything in my life was mediocre. My goals were mediocre, my ambition was mediocre, my dreams were mediocre, everything in my life was mediocre, and I was not happy. And that is when I started my transformation journey in 2016, 2017. And I realized at that time that, man, I'm feeling so great after a few months of just this journey. I want others to feel the same. And I just did some wild research, and I said, how many people are there in Indian, families in middle class who still don't understand their potential, who are still underplaying their potential, and they're settling for less and living a mediocre life? I said, man, there are 260 some million people were there, which was 26 crores at that time. I said, man, I want to help those people. I want to wake them up and tell them, look, you have a huge potential. You can make a lot of difference. You can build your potential. You can go to the next level. And that's how my journey started. I said, man, I'm going to at least transform 1 million lives. I'm going to motivate, I'm going to inspire them to change their life, and eventually help them to become passionpreneur. So that is how my journey started, from 9 to 5 job, from not knowing what to do, to just self-discovery journey, and then helping others to also self-discover themselves.
Yeah. So, talking about mentors, actually, in 2019, I came across Grant Cardone through his book 10x Rule, and that was the first transformation in my life. Before that, I haven't seen a single dime of profit. I was doing a business for 1 year, 1.5 year, but there is a mindset shift that happens when you start thinking big. What I realized with his mentorship, I joined a group training of him. I had only had $6,000 that costed that much. I got it in a discount, and I was very grateful for that. And so what I believe, and based on your book, 80% mindset, 20% skill, I also learned that mindset is one of the most important thing apart from skills. So I would like to also tell in this, like, you went from owning a Hyundai, then BMW, now owning a Ferrari California. I think it was gray in color. You have wrapped in red. Just correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So was it a goal that you have achieved? Then you have rewarded yourself with a Ferrari?
That is actually true, Sammy. A lot of people actually don't know that I am actually not a money minded person. I am not into car. I'm not the person who wants to be very flamboyant and show off. And I'm actually not that person. It is just my persona which is coming across like that, because I like to talk about good things. I like to talk about money, because I think in our Indian society, we all have been, trying to avoid talking about the money. Money ka baat mat karo, money chupa do, people should not know, nazar lag jayegi, ye hai, wo hai. And a lot of people had a lot of black money, so that they could not talk about the money as well. But in reality, when I started my journey, I never thought that I'll become a millionaire. I never thought I'd drive a Ferrari. So you're right. And I rewarded myself with a Ferrari because I was able to achieve the goal of impacting so many lives, which resulted in me making money. And when I made money, I wanted to prove a point that anybody coming from a job, from a middle class, you can own a Ferrari as well. So that was just my thought that, hey, you know what? I think it's going to be an inspiration for middle class people who want to have a great life, dream life, to drive a Ferrari. I said, you know what? I'm going to give that ray of hope to people, and I will buy a Ferrari on cash in multi crores. I'm going to buy it. And that's what I did in 2021. And I bought the Ferrari within just 3 years of starting my journey as an entrepreneur. Why? Because I wanted to make a point that you can still start a business and grow to the level where you can afford to buy these things which are not easily accessible to majority of the world. You can do it. So it was like an example that I want to set for people. honestly, I still am not mad about cars. It is just that I rewarded myself because I think it's a good thing to enjoy your money, and also to inspire others to do the same. Talk
Yeah.
about the money and aim to make more money. But you know what? I never aim for the money. I look for the impact, because I know
Yes.
money is a byproduct of the value that we create in the marketplace. As you already follow Grant Cardone, I follow Grant
Yeah.
Cardone. You see, somewhere we model our mentors, right? Right? If
Yes.
Grant Cardone is like that flamboyant, having jet and driving Rolls Royce, and you start modeling your mentors, and then what? Knowingly, unknowingly, you want to do the same thing and have that grand lifestyle. So a lot of people also misunderstand Grant Cardone. They think he's money minded. But people who actually go through the mentorship program like you've done, I have done, they understand the Grant Cardone is all about people, value, 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 value. Of course, he talks about the money, right? And what's
Yes.
the harm? What's the harm in buying a jet, buying in the aeroplane? That is my goal as well. In 2025, I want to buy my own private jet, inspired by my mentor, Grant Cardone. So yeah, that's the answer. That I made the money and then bought the car. I never had the goal of buying a Ferrari ever.
Yeah, that is actually a really good explanation because money is the most important thing and we try to avoid that part. So, apart from that, I have a very interesting question in my mind. Do you drive your Ferrari a lot? Like in this Indian roads, you get the time?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I drive a lot. I went from Pune to Gujarat. Jitna,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, so many kilometers in just one trip. So it was like, I don't know, 800, 900 kilometer one way.
Yeah.
Two ways. Two ways is 17 some 100 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. So I drove that, and yeah, I usually take the car, Ferrari, like, क्यों लिया है, not for a showpiece and keep it in the parking lot. If you're not
Yes.
able to enjoy the good things in life, then what's the point? Like, you have fruits in front of you, if you have mithai in front of you, if you don't eat it and you put it in a showcase, no point. So I definitely enjoy my Ferrari a lot these days.
Yeah. So similarly, actually, I also set rewards for myself. So I actually own a digital marketing company called ETC Promotion and the e-commerce agency where we help brands to scale their sales in Amazon, Flipkart, and e-commerce stores. So I
Hmm.
also have a reward for myself that in this year 2022, I had to cross 3.5 CR in profits. Then I would reward myself with a Wrangler, Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. I exactly know which color. It costs around 70 lakhs in on road because I am a huge travel enthusiast.
Uh-huh.
So that is a reward I have for myself, and I'm
That's good,
also a
man.
huge believer. Yeah.
That is good. I think you should. I think, high five to you, my man. High five. And, I'm sure you will be able to achieve your dream, because when I saw your video, when I saw your journey, I said, man, okay, he definitely seems to be very professional and somebody who's really ambitious. So well done. I know you will be able to achieve it. And this is the beauty. Anybody who has the ambition of achieving
Yeah.
goals and rewarding themselves, they would appreciate when you share this with somebody, that, what, this is my goal is, if I achieve this, if I'm able to generate this much, I want to reward myself with this. People appreciate. People with
Yes.
narrow mindedness, they will say, you're trying to be more, proud of yourself, and you're showing off and this thing. They all are lost. People are so jealous about each other. But when you talk this language to another successful person, they will say, wonderful, man, go for it, you should have more, and you should win more and buy whatever you want. So well done, man. I'm very happy for you.
Yeah. So I am also a huge believer in personal branding. I invest whatever I have in the starting to generate a good in my personal branding stuff. And I know you are the right person to guide me in this part. What advice do you want to give in terms of building my personal brand in
Mm.
2022?
So personal branding is very interesting. As I have built my brand on social media consciously, I built my brand on what is it that I want to project. Okay,
Yes.
and I am definitely not one of those people who want to sit quietly, let my work let my work talk for me. I'm sitting behind the computer, I don't want people to talk about me. I'm not
Yes.
that. I am very loud and I'm very straightforward and I'm probably in the face. So one of the biggest tip I will share with you about branding and all the viewer who are watching is, if nobody is talking about you, that means you have failed to build your personal brand. If nobody's noticing you, that means you failed to build your personal brand. So you have to be an extreme. Okay,
Okay.
either you have to be wonderful or you have to be horrible. and better choose to be a wonderful and be flamboyant. People on the middle, na idhar na udhar, average, nobody notices them. So if you have to create a brand, put an intention in mind that I want to create a brand which people cannot ignore, right? Whatever it is, people cannot ignore, right? Ignorance, people who ignore you, that is an insult. Like you can hate me or you can love me. You can't be in the
Yes.
middle, right? So Dev Gadvi has both. Dev Gadvi has haters as well. People love Dev Gadvi as well, but there's nobody in middle, right? So that is one. Number two, find what are your values. What do you stand for, right? Like my values are impact, legacy, right? Contribution, right? All these things are my
Yes.
values,
Hmm.
and speed is my value, and all that is representing in your personal brand. And then third is surround yourself with the same values that you have in terms of the physical things, in terms of digital things, colors, logos, branding. It has to reflect you and your personality, right? Like Ferrari, it is my
Yes.
personality because it speaks to me, speaks to my
Hmm.
values. Like premium, it's legacy. Like Ferrari is legend, right? And speed, power, all these are my personal brand. Like how it is for you, right? Jeep Wrangler is
Yes.
your personality. So knowing that, and then consciously, fourth step, consciously creating content, videos, or work which is aligned towards your personal brand. All these are the four things, right? Not being a vanilla flavor in the middle,
Hmm.
finding your values. Number three, projecting physical or digital thing which projects your values. And number four, keep creating content, keep adding value to people before people start associating you with those values and say, you know what, okay, if I look at Sammy, these things come to me, right? If I look at XYZ product or things, Sammy comes to my mind. Same thing, if I think of Passionpreneur, Dave Gadvi comes to my mind. If I think of a Ferrari, somebody who owns a Ferrari, Dave Gadvi should come to. So these are consciously crafted branding strategies that I would suggest all you or all the people watching this to create your brand consciously.
Yeah. So I also look at Grant Cardone as one of my mentor, and I know that you also love him. And he talks a lot about getting haters. And
Mhm.
I have observed that you reply to the comment of your haters very subtle way. So do you agree to the statement that we also need to get a lot of haters, a lot of attention?
Hell yes. Get a lot of haters, man. Get a lot of haters because, there's a dialogue in movie, right? Guru Bhai. It says,
Yeah.
अगर लोग आपके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं तो समझ लो तरक्की कर रहे हो. So if people start talking about you, that means they're giving their brain energy to you. That means you're worth that energy. So if you're not, ruffling the feathers of some people, that means you're not actually growing. Now I'm not saying intentionally do that. I'm not saying become egoistic. I'm not saying become bad, but do so much, progress so much that people cannot ignore you. And there will be two type of audience who will understand with open minded that, okay, Dave is talking about good things, great things, or wonderful, it's inspiration. And there'll be second kind of audience. They said, oh, Dave is talking about all about money and the success and all. He is boasting, he is a bad guy. So you will have both type of audience, and there will be no successful person on this earth who would have become successful without haters, without criticism, without people hating them. Just take anybody, right? Whether it is Mandelas or Gandhis or Modis of the world, you cannot, like
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg has been hated so much for so many of these things. But like, and there's a saying, right? Nobody kicks a dead dog. Right?
Yes.
Nobody kicks a dead dog. So if only when you're making noise, when you're making things work and making things happen, people start talking about you. So let them talk, right? Let them talk. You prove them by your results. Your energy should double. When you have more haters, your energy to do more good in the world, add more value to other people, should increase more. Or if people are talking bad and making videos about Dev Gadvi, unka bhi ghar chal raha hai, dal roti chal rahi hai, chalega, right? And it's good. People get influenced by those haters and start building perception about you as that you are bad, money minded. It is great. Thank God they will never buy my course. Thank God they'll never buy my program. It's better, it's filtering out that if you're getting carried away by listening to broke people who are haters and spreading hate, if you're getting carried away with them, great. And people project their own values. People only project their beliefs. So people see things not the way they are. I repeat one more time. People see things not the way they are. People see things as they are. They just look at the world and life as if they seeing it. They're projecting their beliefs, not the way it is. When I look at people from neutral angle. I don't project my beliefs on them, whether they're successful or not successful. If I don't know them properly, I'm not going to project my belief. So if somebody is buying a Ferrari and driving a Ferrari, I will appreciate them. Wow, wonderful, right? Imagine if I'm just in a job and never bought a Ferrari. By seeing a Ferrari, a lot of people get negative thoughts. Like if somebody is a successful person driving a Ferrari, let's. How old are you, by the way, Sammy?
I'm 23.
23, right? Wonderful. Imagine Sammy gets out of, chalo, we'll go, Jeep is your first level, right? Let's say you go to Lamborghini or Rolls Royce, right, which is our mentor's dream car, Grand Cardone. Let's say you get out of Rolls Royce, 23-year-old. People look at you. What is the first thought that's going to come in their mind?
Yeah.
Negative. बिगड़े बाप की औलाद होगा, अमीर बाप की औलाद होगा, he must be this thing, this thing, this thing. But they will never look at Sammy as an entrepreneur, Sammy as a self-made successful businessman. 20 साल 23 साल क्यों? So what happens is people try to project their belief because they can't have those luxuries at that age. They project their belief that nobody else can have. The only way they can have is this. So when people say that, oh, your Ferrari is fake and this thing, it is not they're commenting on me. They're just projecting their belief that they are going to rent the Ferrari and show the fake things to the world just to get the attention, because it's what they will do. It is not necessarily the truth. It is their filters. How say they seeing the world through their belief. So I love haters. I bless my haters, and I am happy that I have haters. Not that I want necessarily to get more, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen with everybody who is growing fast.
Yeah, totally agree on that. So I was reading your book, 80% mindset, 20% skill, and you have written great points breaking down the 2 points, 2 aspects. So I think you are the right person that can answer my question in this part. Like, why many people cannot achieve success? What is the one thing that stops them?
I mean, there are many reasons why people don't achieve success. There could be many reasons, but I think the root cause of all people can't achieve success is, number one, they don't think big. Their goals, their ambitions, their aims are so small, and your aims and ambitions are so small. How would you even think of achieving big things? So I know success is a very subjective to everybody. Like what is success to me may not be success to you. What is success to you may not be success to others. For maybe some people, success is just having a comfortable life, going to job and settling down. If that is you, great. But most of the people don't become successful because they aim too low. Like there was one saying, right? Is I'm not afraid that I'm gonna aim high and I'm gonna fail. I'm afraid that I'm gonna aim low and I'm gonna achieve it. Now what? So problem is, like, I remember what Grant Cardone was telling me the first time when I remembered that the biggest problem in his 10x rule also he shared that he aimed too low, right? And then
Yeah.
recently, after 2 3 years ago, I mean 2 3 years ago, I again heard him saying, again I made the same mistake and I again aim low. If this man who is multi millionaire and now he's a billionaire, if he can make a mistake of aiming too low, hum kis khet ki muli hain? So I always constantly push my thought process. So how can I aim big? How can I aim big? So that is the first main reason why people can't achieve big level of success, because they think very small and they cannot achieve big because their thought process is small. And uske baad bahut sari other a lot of other things are there, but I think this is the bare minimum.
Yeah. So I was listening to an audio program by Jim Rohn, and it says a very cool phrase. It says like, when it is raining outside, then you see there is a need to fix your roof, but you can't go outside because it is raining outside. But when it's sunny outside, you feel there is nothing to be fixed. So what I
Yes.
feel, maximum people just wait for one tragic moment to happen in their life, then they will start moving and take
Yes.
action.
Yes, yes, I agree, and I think we have to look at the history of how human psychology works, right? if you see, most of the people got their biggest life's break is after the breakdown. When they break down, they got breakthrough. Some incident happens, something bad happens, accident happened, mindset happened, financial loss happened, and then they wake up because the pattern of mediocrity has been broken. That they went so low, they found themselves, the true self and their true power when they went so low. And then they said, I will make sure it's never going to happen to me. Right? Same thing would happen with Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Dan Locke, everybody. Right? It happened with me as well. That when I was feeling low, that man, why have I wasted 13, 14 years of my life to mediocrity? I wish somebody would have told me that mediocrity is a failing formula. Average is a failing formula. I wish I would have known somebody like Grant Cardone a long time back. So I felt that pain of losing my time. And that became my breakthrough, that I will make sure that whoever connects with me, whoever I can help, however I can help, to wake them up from mediocrity. So the lowest points of a life becomes the inspiration and the drive to reinvent our life and go to the next level. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah, I can relate with the story because I was in engineering. I was pursuing my engineering. I was in the second year of my college. My dad had an accident and he just passed away. So that was a time in my life that, okay, it was 2018. I was in the second year of my college. And then I felt that, yes, now the responsibility is on my head. My sister, my mother. So we didn't have any savings because people call it middle class, but I guess middle class is just a myth. There is either lower class or the rich.
Yeah, that's
So
what Grant Cardone says. The middle class is the poor, the wrapped into the beautified version of poor. So that's true.
yeah, so that is what I feel. Everyone suffers through a tragic moment, and they had to quickly analyze what is tragic and what is the time to shift. Similarly, you did a great way in your books and all. You write all the stories, and I suggest all my audience to get your two books. Uh, so the next thing, what?
थोड़ा self promotion कर लेते हैं. These are
Yeah,
the two books that Sammy is talking about: 6 Sundays a week and 80% mindset.
and
And
80%.
I am a big believer of my mentor that you need to be shameless to talk about the work that you've done.
Yes,
Because nobody's going to promote you if you don't promote yourself. And why not? If it is changing somebody's life, why not? You should talk about it.
yeah, totally agree on that. So I want to have some suggestion from you. So whenever I get a lot of things done in a day, a lot of tasks, I still feel like I have been lazy. There are a lot more things that I could have done. Another thing is, uh, so you are doing a lot of things. You have achieved a lot of things. You have a very big goal in your head that you have to go. You have a goal to transform 1 billion lives. So, do you go through a special routine or a particular routine every day? Do you write down your task that needs to be done tomorrow?
Yeah, so I have my own routine, which I follow every day. I have an acronym called GIVER, right? GIVER, GIVER. G stands for gratitude. So as soon as I wake up, I feel grateful for whatever I have in my life because most of our brains are wired negatively, right? As soon as you wake up, either you have negative thoughts or mundane tasks. So our brains are not naturally inclined towards producing something great and becoming happy and successful automatically. It's not default mode is worry or neutrality or mediocrity. So I consciously bring the gratitude feeling in the morning because you want to start your day on a positive note. Why we want a lot of energy in the day, right? To have a great positive energy to produce more, right? Okay, let me do backtrack. All the people who became successful, all the people who became successful, they are producers. They produce more than they consume, right? And that's why they became successful. To produce more, you need a lot of energy, mental energy, physical energy. Now, physical energy, you can have food and sleep and all that, but most other people miss out on the mental energy. And how is your mental energy? When you don't give food to your brains. And what is your food to the mindset, to the brains? There's no better food than waking up every day with a gratitude, being happy. That drives you more energy. With more positive energy, you'll produce more. So the gratitude is one element which I do at the beginning. And then I do imagination, right? Imagination is, as Einstein said, right?
Okay.
Imagination is your superpower. We can imagine. Cats, dogs, monkeys, lions, they can't imagine to the level that we humans can. And we know now that what inventions that we've come up with is all because of imagination. Somebody saw it in their brains and made it happen. So why not use that superpower? Most of the people are not using superpower. Most of the people are just by default mode going to worry and mundane thing. But how about you wake up in the morning and you imagine a better life for yourself, better future for yourself, which of course includes impacting lives, adding value to people. So I actually visualize my dream. So imagine I go extreme and I imagine impossible things, which will people call me crazy. So if I share some of those things with you, you will think that, oh my God, Dave has become crazy because my imaginations are so wild in terms of impact. And so I really, really stretch my mind to think really big. Then third is visualization, right? So I visualize and make things, whatever I saw in imagination, I make it feel real through all my senses, right? And that's visualization, right? So I hear the sound, I smell, fragrance, whatever it is in my own mind. I'm closing my eyes and doing that. Then comes
Okay.
the fourth, which is E, stands for exercise. So exercise or energy. I work out as soon as I wake up, and I feel my God get my body moving and get more energy there. And then last stands for R, which is reading. I listen to audiobook, I listen to something really good. I keep improving every day in my knowledge as well. So this is the routine I follow every single day. Of course, there are a few days I miss it, but I try to stay
Yeah.
consistent as much as I can. So I also write my goals as well as soon as I wake up in the morning, and I look at the night that have I achieved these goals. So that's what I do.
Yeah, that was powerful. That was really powerful. So I know I promised you I will not take more than 15 minutes. It was a great interview talking to you. Share your energy you shared with our audience. That was great. That energy is the most important part of every entrepreneur. And talking to you, having you in this show is actually really something that I have achieved right now. Uh, just one last question before we can end this and move forward. So,
Mhm.
I want a suggestion. Like, can you give me three of your friends' name that you want me to have them in my Get Rich show in the next episodes?
Three friends. I think some of my friends that you already interviewed. I think Avi Haria is a good friend.
Yeah.
You already interviewed him. I can give you a name of Ron Malhotra. He could be a good guy. BSR is a good guy. So I think these are the good people that you can reach out to and interview them.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Do you have anything from your heart that you want to share to my audience, to the viewers that is listening to this podcast, this show today?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I want to share one thing, which is I'm assuming your audience will be coming in the age group of 20s or maximum 30s. That's what I'm assuming. And at a young age, I want to give you an advice that reach out to people, even if it feels uncomfortable. Reach out to people, talk to them, share your thoughts, share your ideas with them, and try and do what Sammy is doing, right? Network is net worth. So build those connections, build those network right at the early age by thinking, what value can I add for the other person? Not what can I get from the other person. How can I add value? And being proactive there, it is going to open up your whole game. Now there are a lot of other things that you can do, but this is just one piece. Like, of course, following your passion, finding a mentor early on, having patience, right? Invest your time and money in self development. All these are elements are there, but find the people who you really really resonate with, reach out to them, add value to them, give them more value. That is the advice I'm going to share with all of you guys. And if you're really really serious, read more in the book 80% mindset, 20% skills. You will have more knowledge of exactly what I did. And if you're youngsters who has big dreams, big goals, big ambition, back it up with self development. That's it.
Yeah, for anyone who's listening to it, if you haven't caught Mr. Dave Gadvi's books, trust me, it's just few hundred rupees. So if you can't invest few hundred in your education, in your self-development, you shouldn't have goals of few crores, few hundred crores. So I'll recommend you to get that two books. And if you are not yet part of Mr. Dave Gadvi's webinar, make sure you check that out. The energy that he shared in this show, you can get a lot more in that. That is a long webinar. So thank you, Mr. Dev Gadvi, for joining and becoming a part of this Get Rich show. I'm really grateful for having you in this show. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
No, I want to congratulate you, Sammy. Before I go, is the name itself, Get Rich, is very bold, right? And a lot of people have negative affiliation towards money and rich. So by just this show's name, I understood how bold you are, how open-minded you are, and we should talk about rich. We should talk about money. And at just young
Yes.
age, congratulations that you're making a good headway. And I'm sure your dream of driving your dream car will come true in 2022. Maybe we'll take a ride together someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure. Take care. God bless you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.